guys, this is the My Brothers Keepers League. I am your commissioner, Robbie Bowen, or Tom Bombadil 7 on there, which sounds kind of goofy. I'm so excited for this league. I've been working on it a lot. Luke has also been working on it a lot. He's my co-host here, or more of the host, to be perfectly honest. He's done a lot of the hard work, and I'm just here for the ride. But I'm so excited to have you guys all here. The idea of this league is we want 10 people who are just really, really passionate about fantasy football, and they just want to sell their soul to win and do everything they can. So if you're not, I don't know, you better be signed up to sell your soul to fantasy football, because that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here. And you have to be cutthroat and just do whatever you can to win. And that's where we're at. We want people who will stick for years to come, and we can just have this fun community and league for a while. I mean, that's the idea of the Keeper League. So hopefully we can just have this around for a while, and it just can be something that all of us can look forward to every year. So today, me and Luke are going to do a few special things, and one of those big thing here is that we are going to rank the 10 teams in our league. What else are we going to do today, Luke? Or how should we start?
Absolutely. We're going to go over, thank you for the intro, by the way, Commissioner, my overlord and commander. We are going to be going over some of the rules of the league. This is a keeper league, and not everyone may be familiar with exactly what that means. Not to mention, it's a special kind of keeper league. We're going to go over some of the ways that we are planning to make this league super fun going into the future, some of the unique features that it will have. And yes, we will be doing a consensus top 10 rankings. Me and Robbie took our rankings separately, and Robbie sent his to me, and I combined them into a consensus. Robbie doesn't know the rankings, and he's gonna react live on air today. At the end, we'll have our dark horse teams, and then we will wish you all luck heading off into the season.
Yeah. All right. So the rules of our league, it is a keeper league, again, as we said. So the idea is everybody has 3 keepers, which might be a lot more than.
Can I pause you there? I've got a PowerPoint for this. I will let you explain it all. But let me pull up that PowerPoint.
Perfect.
Can I tell a funny story real quick before we just on the note that you said this is a cutthroat league. I actually had an opportunity to be super cutthroat just the other day. So let me share the screen with you here for this. So I've been already getting into the trades with people, you know. I've been as you do, right? I've been already looking at the different sorry, I'm going to change my screen around here. And so Balak, or the other Luke, we've been talking, and he sent out a trade offer. We were looking before week 1 happened. He sent out a trade offer where I think he was trying to get Travion Henderson, and he was going to give me Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Bill, plus a future pick. He was trading up and running back. And after the first week happened, the trade offer was still there. He didn't resend it. I had the opportunity, now that we had new information that Bill was the best, like he had literally taken over the backfield at this point. I was tempted to just hit accept, because that would have been legal. There would have been no rules against that. But I did decide I want to maintain future trade relationships for the long term. And I messaged him. I said, hey, do you still want this trade offer? Would you still take it? Because I would take it now. And he said, nope. And he pulled it out.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
It's just funny because I could have been a tool there. There's always that opportunity.
Yeah, I think honestly maintaining future trade relations is good, because I know, for me, part of the excitement of it is trades, and maybe that's because I'm a younger, less experienced player in some sense of the word. And I know that he's kind of on the same like rung as I am, where it's like just a very trade happy person. Like you can tell by the
Good.
way he drafted based on excitement and not based on what's already there, which is a very, very scary way to draft, which is a little foreshadowing to how I rank his team. But yeah.
Well, I love it. I love when people are willing to talk trades, and this league is already so fun. I hope it can just keep the vibes can keep building as everyone gets involved.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for this. I was changing my screens around, but I'm now going to share my screen with you, and we're going to get into a very a slideshow PowerPoint that I put a lot of effort into. So here we go. Cool. You can see that?
Ooh, I like it.
All right. So, Battle of the Bible is season 1. Like I said, Robbie's the commissioner, but I'm handling some of the video stuff here. So, first thing we're going to do is, what is this league? Robbie, can you give us an explanation? Like, what even are we doing?
Just we're gonna play fantasy football. The idea is, as your slide presentation suggests, it is the same rules, I believe, as the Fantasy Footballers League of Record that they talk about a lot. If you've ever listened to them, they're a very good podcast. I don't know if there's any podcast that I actually listen to more than these guys. They're very good. They have very good tips on everything. A lot of the times for me, they've helped me make my decisions like very definitively. And a lot of the times they've helped me win, if I remember correctly. A lot of the times they've also helped me lose. So it's a double-sided thing. But this is what they say is the funnest format. And again, that's not a word, but it's the most fun format for fantasy football, period. So if you imagine 3 guys that have a podcast about fantasy football say this is the best way to play the game, they probably know what they're talking about. These guys have practically devoted their lives to fantasy football, and they're like, this is what you should do. This is how it should be. So I think that's what should be super exciting about this league is that it will just be like, I don't know, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It will be more interesting and more in depth, and there will just be so much more and many more layers to it than your just average dynasty or redraft league, you know? So
let's get into the keepers. That's a wonderful explanation. So now you can explain the keepers.
All right. Okay, so this is my team right here.
Yeah, I'm using your team as an example. So
yes,
I mean, you can honestly just read this out loud, but you can keep going.
Yeah. Okay, at the end of the season, but before the NFL draft, I choose 4 keeper. I thought it was 3. Maybe I should. Oh, you're right. It's 4 keepers. You're right. You're right. My brain.
I went on and I gave it an in-depth look, and I made sure I understood what was happening. So
okay, perfect.
Even I misunderstood it. No, you're good.
Yeah.
So let's just make it very clear for everyone here. Mind if I read it here? So
sure, go ahead.
What basically will happen is everyone at the end of this season, but before the NFL draft where all the rookies come into the NFL, and you get to find out basically what the new crop of rookies is going to look like. Each of us will choose 4 keepers. You'll choose 1. In this instance, it's Jahmyr Gibbs, that you franchise. This will be your favorite player, basically. You will automatically keep this player going into next year. Then you get 3 more players, and you have to pick them for the lottery. You're going to end up with 2 of the 3 of these players, and it will be randomized. Also, the 3 players you pick cannot be the same position as your franchise player. So since Robbie would have taken Jahmyr Gibbs in this example as a running back, none of these 3 can be a running back, but they can be any other position in any combination.
I drafted a lot of running backs this year. That means no Chase Brown, no Alvin Kamara. I can't put any of those 3 guys on there. That was the funny thing is when I looked at this, I'm like, why would I keep like DK Metcalf over Chase Brown? And then I remembered that's how that works. You can't keep 3 guys that might be your highest drafted players. You have to draft or like keep them based on position. And that can be a little scary. So we'll see how that works out. That's fun.
Absolutely.
That's like the core thing for the league. That's like the the main idea of the keeper situation. So for like the lottery, just a note here. We don't have any specific method figured out yet of how the lottery is going to work, but if you've ever been online, you can do like little spin wheels or something like that, and it'll say these two players or something. There are many ways you could do it. I have like, for instance, right next to me, because I'm going to do this, I have dice right here.
Ooh.
We could do something with dice. We could be like that. It's just, and I think each year as we go along, we should probably try to just find a more fun and random, creative way to randomize the keepers that aren't, of course, your one franchise player, in this case, Jahmyr Gibbs. So,
yeah. The footballers say that they like get together and do a party, or they do a live stream. Like that could be a really fun mini podcast we record where we can do it in front of everybody on camera.
Yeah.
And it'll be like a little event sometime in like March or whenever the draft is.
100%, yeah.
Because you would want to do it after the NFL draft happens, and once everyone's locked in their lottery keepers.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you know, Robbie announces his he gets his 3 keepers. In this instance, Baker Mayfield got canned, so Baker Mayfield goes back into the draft, and then he gets to keep Brian Robinson and DK Metcalf. And I want to make sure people understand this, because I've begun trading draft picks already, but I don't know if people understand quite what that means. So
yeah,
all of us should have 2026 first round, second round, third round, fifth round picks coming into next year. And on top of your 3 keepers, your first pick of that draft will be that 2026 first rounder come next year. So we are not allowed to trade the first round pick. That means that there can't be any massive tanking. Every team will have 4 good players at least. But, you know, you could trade your second round pick. And in this example, like if I gave Robbie my third round 2026 pick, this is what Robbie's draft might look like next year. He would get just an extra third rounder stuck right in the middle there, which gives him a pretty nice little boost.
Yeah. Like Zay Flowers, it's like the wide receiver 1 in week 1. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
That could be a pretty darn good beast.
Yeah, he is a beast.
I mean, he is a beast. He is a beast. He was in the Pro Bowl. People thought it was a controversial pick, but he looked pretty good out there. So that could be a huge addition to my team when I trade those.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna have to give up something pretty good for a player like that.
Right.
For a draft pick like that in specific.
Yeah. So just understand, like, a third round pick in a keeper league is probably more like a 6th round pick in a redraft league, because everyone has 3 keepers that are automatically off the board at the top. But they're still valuable. And can I conclude this with I just pulled some direct quotes off of their website to let them explain it well. So I'm going to read this out loud. So I think this is from one of their producers who wrote this. Everyone starts with 3 keepers as their first 3 rounds of the draft before the real 101 takes their shot at the draft board. Every team has their first round pick based on reverse order and a random lottery for the top 4 picks to make sure outlandish tanking doesn't happen. However, after the first round, all your draft picks are eligible for trading. Heck, you can trade keepers too if the lottery didn't quite go your way. Draft pick trading is not only turned on as a setting in Sleeper, but the league is addicted to it. This also incentivizes teams to stay connected during the season, to either sell out for a championship or play for the next year. There is so much year-to-year variance in the League of Record. Even if you were good last year or have good keepers, it does not guarantee the playoffs if you come to the draft short 2 to 3 early round selections because you sold out the previous year. What makes the League of Record, and honestly fantasy football as a whole, so dang competitive and life-giving is the people in it. The back and forth, trash talk, and annual traditions from league members is what makes that league.
Yeah, there it is. That's the idea. That's definitely like an interesting thing. I've never personally been in a keeper league before, but one of the members in our league is what?
Me neither.
Yeah, so one of the members in our league, he's my uncle. I always mix up his name a little bit on here, but it's like Knocker, Pack, Knock. I forgot
Knox
exactly how
Packer Backer.
Knox Packer Backer. Thank you. I have it on my rankings here. But basically, his only experience with fantasy football is playing in a keeper league, as far as I'm aware. And he told me that last season in his keeper league, he traded away CeeDee Lamb and Lamar Jackson for like 2 first rounders or 3 first rounders or something. And his keeper league is a little different. So that was a little bit more valuable than we may have made it look, because it's just a very different type of league. But that's kind of the idea, you know. If you are really not doing well at the end of the season, again, we are going to have a punishment, and it will be you can choose. So there are 3 different types of punishments. So I've seen people, we'll talk about this probably more in a bit, but I've seen people say like, okay, there are some of these that, like Luke mentioned on there, that I can't do. And that's fair. That's very reasonable. So what we're doing is we have 3 different that you can choose from. So if there is a more ridiculous punishment that you want to go for that maybe for some people would be out of the option, then you can choose that one. And then there are some more reasonable ones, like donate $50 to a charity of the winner's choice, right? That's a pretty tame one, but it's a good punishment, right? And it's something that's very, very good on many levels. So that will be one of them. And then there was like one idea that I really liked that Luke came up with, like the Elvis idea, where you have to dress up as Elvis and go around asking people for money. For maybe some people, that's not an option. But if you lose and you're like, hey, you know, I just feel like doing something really stupid, which most people won't, but it could be really fun. So that'll be on the table. That's one of your options.
Absolutely. Oh, it's going to be so fun. I'm really excited for this. So, yeah, just keep in mind, guys, like with these draft picks, that kind of makes a dynamic where as we get halfway through the season, people will begin to figure out, do I have a good chance to win this year, or do I need to like sell out? Am I out? Because the teams that have a chance to win will absolutely buy your good players off of you for future draft picks. That will happen. And you could get a better chance in the next 3 years coming into that draft. Like I'm coming into 2027 right now with 3 second-round picks. I'm looking pretty cracked that year. But this year, my bench is complete garbage. So,
well, you gotta be strong on the waivers, as you already have. So,
I think strong.
You're doing I like it. I like it. It's fun to be able to just, like, there are players that you feel like you couldn't drop because they're just that like kind of player, but you're like, I don't know if I'm super excited about it. Like, I have Jaylen Warren. He's the starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't feel good dropping him, but there are players on waivers that feel a lot more exciting and fun to have on my team than Jaylen Warren. He is not a fun player to roster, but he's a player that will be effective at least through the beginning of the season nonetheless. So it's kind of hard, and that's fun to be able to roster those players. Anyway, I can yap a lot about fantasy football, hence why I'm here, and hence why I commissioned this league.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
and we will yap for sure. But let's talk about some of the features.
All right.
Do you want so me and Isaac go ahead and share what this is.
So this is, and you've maybe seen Luke do this a couple times, as he excellently has, as the Apostle Paul post, where when we see something in the league that is big or exciting, like a trade or anything like that, or like maybe a new nickname on the team. It could be something as simple as that, or like a really spicy waiver wire pick, which is, there are a couple of them that we'll be getting to in a bit, that just happened right before we recorded this. But like, I believe I'm the Tolkien Times, and Isaac is my brother. Isaac, he's What the Dickens, or his team name is, I believe, is it Gimli's Giblets?
Gimli's Giblets or something.
Giblets, yeah.
Or Giblets? Okay.
The 5 Chronicles, and Luke is the Apostle Paul post. And whenever we see something that we feel is worthy of remarking on, then we are going to talk about it. We'll make a thing about it, and we'll probably kind of pretend to be the Apostle Paul, or like someone for the Apostle Paul, as Luke has stated in his previous Apostle Paul post comments. or just say it in the way that this person, this famous, cool person would say it, you know? So that's what we're going for.
Yeah, these are really just alter egos for the three of us. I would say I don't know if there's any guarantee how often we're going to use these, but
Yeah, it'll be pretty sporadic.
we all three liked the idea that we could just kind of add fun commentary to the league in the form of like a written post.
Yeah.
So just know that these might pop up, and that's what that is. And none of my words as the Apostle Paul are going to be in any way divinely inspired, just to be very clear. They are, it's more just his brash openness and convicting of people.
Mm-hmm. He has just very strong convictions about fantasy football, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very strong convictions, but nothing divinely inspired.
Absolutely.
This is his side stuff while he's traveling between different areas in the ancient world. He likes fantasy football. We never knew, but it's true.
Oh, it's so true.
It's so true.
All right. Let me go to the next one here. Okay.
All right.
All right. So you already explained this a little bit.
I did explain this a little bit because I got ahead of myself, as I can tend to.
Oh, no worries. You don't know what's in this PowerPoint.
I don't know what's in this PowerPoint. No.
So besides what Robbie already said, every year when the teams are ranked, there will be a little graphic showing all your past trophies. First, second, and third will get trophy icons, but we're also going to add a poop emoji for whoever gets last place in a certain year. So if you get last place in any year, it will permanently be a part of your team's legacy. That is one of the punishments.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And then we have our thing. So again, another thing about this is that some of this stuff is still being workshopped. So me and Luke both have certain random ideas about the league that might be added on, but there won't be anything like big. Like it's going to be the same with keepers and things like that every year. We're still going to have 3 punishments, but as it says on the PowerPoint, I will choose 3 different punishments that you guys get to choose from. And I've already mentioned a few of them that I really like the idea of. Should I go on with the different punishments, or do we not do that yet?
Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and list them out now. What is this year's punishments, Robbie?
So I haven't even told Luke this. So
right.
Because I've been very busy with life stuff lately, and Luke has come up with many really good ideas. So I have 3 different ones, and what I'm thinking is there will be 2 maybe easier punishments and 1 like bigger, more exciting, normal fantasy football punishment that might not be attainable for everyone. And so especially if you're like not living in the same state, or you're off at college or something like that, then some of those might be more, or in the case of Brian, he's having a newborn child, and we very much understand that he can't do things like that. And hooray for Brian. So 1 punishment I've already mentioned. I need to look and see exactly what Luke said about it, but I really like it. So we will have, if you choose this punishment, you will have to dress up as Elvis, and you will have to go, what was it, Old Town, or like, where was it? Just any public area.
Yeah. What is it? You have to collect $10. I don't even remember, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it again. Again, this is not attainable for everybody, so we understand. Okay. Walk around town dressed as Elvis, and you have to ask people for money to buy materials for a peanut butter and banana sandwich. You can't leave until you collect $5. That is one of the options. I don't know if anybody would in their right mind pick that, but it is on the table because I would love to see one of you guys do that. So that's why it's there, even though I don't think it's going to happen, because you have your choice. You always have your choice, because some people just can't do things like that, but it's always on the table. Another thing that, again, I mentioned this one already, was donate $50 to the charity of the winner's choice. A very good option, very reasonable. I like that one. And another one that's a very, very simple one that I would probably recommend people don't choose that one because it's not as fun. But if it's really the only thing that's on the table for you, maybe you're really trying to cut costs and stuff like that, so you can't go out and buy like donate $50 to a charity because you're in college and you need to save all the money you can or something like that. Then, and I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that will be the case with anyone in particular, but, and you don't want to do the charity or whatever, and you can't do the Elvis thing because you're too busy or whatever, I don't know, then this is what we do in our redraft league that we've been a part of, which I think Luke will get to talking about briefly in a moment. But it's that the winner gets to choose your nickname and picture for your team during the next year. And that's a very simple but effective punishment. I know that in last year's league, because there were 2 people that did not participate at all, we had my brother do it because he was the next last person. And his team is now Mom Found the Pee Drawer. And he has a very, very fun picture of a child crying in front of his pee drawer that he's been peeing in for who knows how long. So, and it's amazing. I love every time I get to see his team. I'm just like, this is all is right with the world when a team is named something like that.
Yeah,
so,
you're right. Yes. Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. They sound like great punishments. If you do the Elvis one, please take some video evidence for everybody. But
exactly.
To summarize that, Elvis, name change, or donation. Those are your options. Mm-hmm. I like it. Everyone can do that. Even that last one you can do without even ever leaving the app. So
exactly.
Cool.
That's the idea. Just make people feel very comfortable with it, like they don't have to do anything in particular. Because there are a lot of leagues. I know I sent like a short to Luke recently about the craziness of how fantasy football punishments are going, and they're like, go to Mexico and try to get smuggled past the border or something like that. And it's like, I forgot what all of them were. It's like the loser gets stabbed 5 times in the stomach, and it's like, yeah, we're not we're not like that, okay? We're not psychopaths.
No.
We're just wanting to have fun and play fantasy. So if you're not feeling like doing one of the classic or one of the crazy punishments, then we have 2 good, very tame options on the table.
Yeah.
And we just want people to be excited about it the whole year. Don't trade your entire like team away for picks. Just be invested. That's the idea of having the punishments. Just be connected the whole year. Especially, I mean, if your team is already really bad or something like that, then it's a very good reason to be like, okay, I'll take one of the easier punishments and then trade away my players because I'm already losing. But I want everybody to start out the year with winning aspirations when they first draft. That's the idea. Even if you don't like your team too much, you can always like mess with it. Something that's crazy for me is that last year was the first year of me actually being invested in fantasy football, and now I'm already the commissioner of this league. And I think for me, what I did, I started out, I didn't know what I was doing. I drafted Kyler Murray in round 1 of a redraft league. I then drafted Puka and Kenneth Walker, and it was an awful team because Puka got injured and Kenneth Walker was injury prone. But I traded, and eventually I had like Breece Hall, Puka Nacua, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, because I drafted guys later, even though I had no idea. Like Brian Thomas and Brock Bowers were like such good picks, and I was able to pick up Chase Brown off of waivers, and I traded for all these first-round picks.
What idiot dropped Chase Brown?
Chase Brown? What?
What idiot dropped Chase Brown?
I think that would be you. Or was that John? No, that was you.
That was a joke. It was me.
Yeah. But that was just, it was crazy because I was chasing actual first-round picks since I didn't draft a player that should be drafted in the first round. And then my team flopped. I didn't even make playoffs because those players weren't as good as the ones that I traded away that were breakout candidates. Brian Thomas was the wide receiver 4, and he wasn't that far behind Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I had. It was just like, it was not a good strategy. I was chasing the how everybody valued players when I should just be chasing what actually happens. And so that was a huge lesson for me. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot.
You're
But
passionate. I love
I am
it.
passionate. So just coming from that, I want everybody to. I started just saying this as an inspirational story. My team was a hot piece of hot garbage. I had Rasheed Rice, he went out instantly. I had Raheem Mostert. What happened to him last year? Does anybody remember him? No, because he was awful. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything like he had the year before, where he was like the running back two, behind Christian McCaffrey by a lot, but still. Um, and that's just to say that I had a garbage team and I was not super invested to start the year, but I became invested because I was able to get good trades. I was able to find out, well, what player does this kind of person want? Maybe they're a fan of a certain team and they'll sell you something maybe a little bit better if you give them, say, a Lions player. We have a couple really big Lions fans in our league. So if you've got like Jameson Williams sitting there, then you're like, well, maybe I can upgrade at wide receiver or something because this person really likes the Lions, just as an example. But you just learn what people want, what people are excited about. Like Luke made a trade recently for a guy who named his team Waddle World and did not draft Jalen Waddle. And I think it was a pretty darn good trade for Luke, but because, he really wanted Jalen Waddle. So
It could have been better.
Yeah, probably.
He offered me Xavier Worthy instead of Rashad Bateman, and I decided, I think Worthy's going to be out for the year. I'll take Bateman. Worthy's probably going to be back this week.
Yeah, he probably will.
Yikes. We got a lot of passion, but we also got a lot to get through. Do you mind if I bring us back into the PowerPoint here?
100%.
For sure. Look, I can't go for 5 hours, Robbie. We gotta make sure we get to the teams here.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to we have one more feature. It will be this podcast, and just to let you know the general schedule, we're likely going to do a mid-season prediction, probably closer to playoffs, and we'll do an end-season review, handing out awards. I don't know if we have awards in the Bible Boys League. Which, for those of you who don't, like most of you are part of our other fantasy football league, Battle of the Bible Boys, which now has 14 teams, 2 of which drafted based on first names only, and 1 of which drafted Italian-sounding names. It's more of a fun league. This is more the serious league. That's why we're moving the podcast to the big podcast to here, basically.
Yeah.
And then having the keeper lottery as a mini podcast / how's it going would be kind of cool, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're going for. So these are some of the thumbnails of all these different videos that they've done in the past. As you can see, Luke is our master editor. He's made some masterpieces, as you can clearly see on these pages before. So
these are my proudest works of art.
We're in good hands.
Ready to get into power rankings, Robbie? Right. You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I've got my notes over here on one monitor and the PowerPoint on the other. Let's get into it. So we're gonna count it down. Number 10. It is Waddle World.
That's what I thought would happen. We both ranked him the same.
Okay. 78's team. We both ranked him 10th. We don't have keepers this year, but in the future, your 3 keepers will represent your team here at the front.
All right. So would you like to start us off, or should I start us off?
Hold on. Before we get into the analysis, this is actually the intro. So this is the team. Let's hear let's hear from Luke himself. Let me make sure this. Right. Tell me if you can't hear this.
So, look at my fantasy team. Draft night went absolutely horrible, as my running back room was pitiful, and my wide receiver room was not to brag about either. But I would say currently it's pretty mid, other than being a hospital right now with injured players left and right. A lot of my draft players turned out very well, which I'm very happy about, like Javonte Williams and JCM, and others look to maybe be startable down the stretch. And the other great thing is Kittle and Godwin are both on my IR, so if I can make it into playoffs, my team should be a lot more noteworthy then. So I have hopes, and I'm so happy JJ McCarthy looks really good. So there's a chance I might be able to trade him for some good capital too. So I think I have a lot of potential on my team, but my bench depth is definitely lacking, and I have a lot of injuries. So those are my major problems.
There it is. He said it very well.
Okay, there's the team. Let's analyze.
Okay. You want to start or should I start?
Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So he said a lot of it himself. I think this team is very fun. And that's kind of what you should do, is just draft based on like what you enjoy. So to start off at quarterback, this is a lot of people drafted quarterback. They drafted the 4 different positions like very fast. These players went really fast in our draft, but he started with his first pick was Malik Neighbors, right? Or was it Devon Achane?
Let me pull up the draft board. That would be kind of fun to be able to see. But I bet it was Achane. I bet he was at the turn.
Yeah, he's a big Dolphins guy, so that would make sense.
Oh, really? Is he from Florida?
I'm not actually sure. I just know Isaac told me he was a big Dolphins guy. And that's also part of why he's such a big fan of Jalen Waddle this year. That would be interesting.
Here.
Okay, perfect. You got it up there. So yeah, he was at the turn, and he got Malik Neighbors and Devon Achane. Very good tandem there. I like it. Definitely very interesting. So looking at his team, okay, let's can you push it over a little to the side so we can see his team? Because
I lost the I'm sorry. I lost
you're good.
The little slider. The slider is hiding from me. There it is.
Okay. So he starts with Malik Neighbors. Very interesting. First of all, he already said it himself. His depth is a little scary, but it's not as bad as I originally thought it was. I would still rank his team last, but like at wide receiver, it's all based on guys that could be really good, but haven't proved that they can be yet. Of course, Chris Godwin has proved that he can be really good, and then he snapped his ankles. I forgot exactly what happened, but he's coming off of a really bad injury. He's not going to play for probably the first few weeks of the year. It's really annoying that they didn't just put him on IR and have him having to go doubtful and all that stuff the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's Malik Neighbors, who was good last year, but still kind of needs a breakout as one of those top guys, which I have him in another league. I'm a little scared myself. And it's still a little bit of a potential player, He still was really good last year, but at the same time, there were some things last year that made him a little scarier. And then Devon Achane is always a really good running back, but every single week, he has a good chance of getting a concussion because he's a small guy. He runs, he gets his head knocked into a bunch of people. It's football. And he's one guy that gets a lot of concussions, is very injury prone so far in his career. And that's pretty scary, especially considering because when you draft Devon Achane, you need guys behind him that can just be shoved right in. And then let's see, what was his next running back off the board behind Devon Achane? Caleb Johnson, who's third on his depth chart. He has a lot of potential. There are a lot of people that really like Caleb Johnson, but he also has Arthur Smith, who was the guy who had Bijan behind Tyler Algier for years and made Bijan not as good in fantasy. And Caleb Johnson is not a Bijan Robinson type of prospect, and he's far behind Jalen Warren on their depth chart right now, even though arguably he might be quite a bit more talented than Jalen Warren. I think that's a very scary running back too. And then he has JCM, who's very much a potential player. He was seventh round pick, and Bill. Yeah, it's pretty exciting having JCM right now because now Austin Eckler, who I invested in, is toast. Mm-hmm. So everybody says this is our running back one. Now we get to see if the hype was really worth it. Javonte Williams right now is his running back two. And though I'll admit his team looked the best on week 1, I will 100% give him that. That was totally surprising to me. But Javonte Williams had a big game, and I don't know. A lot of people say that it was because Jalen Carter's little spitgate thing parted the Red Seas of the Eagles' defense for Jalen or Javonte Williams to just go run straight through. But like, I can tell you as a Broncos fan and a Rams fan, but a Broncos fan, Javonte Williams is not a startable running back. He should not be their running back one. They should have drafted more guys than like Jalen Blue or whatever, which you also coincidentally have. But he had a good week 1. I don't expect that to continue. It looks like it might be a good thing, but I just can't envision Javonte being drafted in like round 3 or 4 next year based on his like what he's done before. Jalen Blue could be good. I just think that the Cowboys are just going to be a very pass-heavy offense based on what they have. They have George Pickens and CeeDee, and Dak is a really good like pocket passer. I just don't see them running the ball much. I like Josh Downs, I really do, but I don't know if he's going to get play time. Tyjae Spears is interesting. All of them are interesting. I will admit the wide receiver room is more based on potential, but I do like it a lot. Malik Neighbors is really fun. Emeka Egbuka had that crazy 2-touchdown week 1 performance, which was really exciting. Tedero McMillan was the highest drafted wide receiver prospect. Jalen Waddle, hypothetically, with how the team feels about Tyreek Hill, should get good targets if Tua still has it, which I don't know if he does, but Xavier Worthy has injury problems. It's a little scared. Chris Godwin starts the year on IR. Darnell Mooney also is a little bit of an injury thing, but apparently he's playing this week, so hopefully that will be good. But we don't know if Michael Penix likes to target Darnell Mooney that much like Kirk Cousins did last year as a wide receiver 2 on the team. I just think, based on what I'm saying, that, and of course, the big thing here is that George Kittle is gone for like the first 4 or 6 weeks of the season, and that was a really highly drafted player. That's everybody was wanting George Kittle because he's one of the big 3 must-start tight ends every week between him, Brock Bowers, and Trey McBride. And now he's gone for a while, and you have to start like Harold Fannin. All I mean to say, and of course, Luke said this very well himself, not this Luke, but the Luke that we just saw. His team is very scary, and it looks very injured, and it's very much based on potential players. So you could see this team really breaking out. And of course, Jalen Hurts is actually the one contrast that I haven't spoken about yet. He's a very solid quarterback, but he's the one player on here where it's not based on potential for me, and it's more just based on like he's done it. He's taken his team to a Super Bowl. He's not going to give you many big weeks. I don't know if he really passed like 40 points on any game last week or year, but he's always going to probably get you between 20 and 30 fantasy points, which is a very safe player to have on your team. And that's why he's like a top 5 quarterback for fantasy football, is just because he's going to do that. And that's the one safe player, but everybody else, literally, there is not a player on this team that I'm like, this guy is surely going to be safe. And that is terrifying for me personally. Like, you have it listed here. Emeka Egbuka is his like wide receiver 2, or Tedero McMillan or Jalen Waddle. You could argue for any of the 3. And Emeka Egbuka had a really good week 1, but then of course you don't know what Chris Godwin's going to do and all this kind of stuff like that. It's just every player here is scary to some extent of the word. Anyway, you can speak on him so that we don't go till like for 6 hours.
Hey, you're good, man. No, I agree with most things you said. Mm-hmm. Like, it's based on potential. A lot of these players. Let's see. I kind of organized my thoughts in a bit of a tier system in the different categories. I think he's got one of the strongest quarterback rooms in the league. I think he's higher in terms of upside. When you said he drafted based on excitement, I think that this team, what I do like about it is that almost all the players, even the waiver wire players, are shots for the upside rather than just stable, consistent kind of guys. But yes, I think in terms of this team's actual starters, it falls flat in a lot of ways. Before the Kittle and Worthy injury, mainly Kittle, I looked at it and I would have actually ranked this team 7th or 8th. But because of that, and this happens with any team that will get injuries. Like, you just lost your 4th round star tight end, and now you're starting Harold Fannin, which I know people are excited, but I'm not very excited for
David
a
Njoku is still
rookie.
there.
I'm not excited for a rookie sharing time with David Njoku on the Browns, to be honest.
Yeah.
With that quarterback room, like, I just don't see a world where Harold Fannin becomes a consistent top 10 tight end.
I would have personally stuck with Brenton Strange. Anyway, sorry.
Maybe. No, you're all good. I do think the wide receiver room has strength. Egbuka and McMillan and Worthy, if he comes back. Waddle's already freaking me out. And I actually think Javonte Williams, I'm higher on him than most people. I don't think he's totally washed. I even ordered a Javonte Williams Broncos jersey recently. He's going to be my one of my favorite Broncos players. It's just hard to recover from an injury that severe that happened 2 years ago. He needed, I think this 3rd year, he'll actually be back, kind of.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'm still ranking them 10th. So,
yeah.
Sorry. The running back room it's very iffy across the board. And I just don't think he'll be able to keep up. In a 10-team league, every team has really good players for a good chunk of their roster. So you need to be pretty high echelon to compete in that regard.
Okay.
Cool. Let's continue.
All right. Number
9. Nickelodeon.
Ooh. Okay.
Robbie at number 8, me at number 9, managed by John. Let's hear what John has to say about Nickelodeon.
Super excited for this year. Let me see where I'm at here. Just starting off, super excited for my wide receivers. Got CeeDee Lamb and Nico Collins. What a solid duo. And then I backed it up with a solid running back, Bucky Irving in the 3rd. What great value there. I mean, Bucky usually is going in the late 2nd and got him in the mid 3rd. Got T. Higgins also in the 4th. Stud. And so just those first 4 picks were just great value all around. Patrick Mahomes in the 6th. I mean, just talking about value picks here, he's going in the 4th round in most leagues. So super happy I got him where I did. And then Zay Flowers just popped off last week. Talking a little bit about bench players, not super happy about my bench, but just some later round picks that I am loving. I love Jacoby Myers. I love Kyle Pitts. Popped off this week. 101 value, by the way. Looking great. Overall, not super happy with my bench depth, but I do think I got a few solid picks, especially for value, especially in wide receiver room. All right, cool.
It's funny watching these because mine is so goofy.
There's variety for sure. People had a lot of fun with it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You want to go first this time?
Sure. Yeah. Maybe we can alternate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. He sees this team as having a lot of value picks, and I definitely agree on some of them. Some of these picks are turning out really good. It's more the distribution that bothers me. It's the elite wide receiver room that kind of, I think, puts him in a super risky situation in all the other positions. I'm in talks right now trying to get Kenneth Walker kind of on the cheap or kind of for another risky player from John. Like, I don't think Kenneth Walker is dead, but the fact that he came out with a 40% snap share is freaky. Judkins, talented, but with the character issues and the suspension potentially, and I think he just dropped Najee, so this is probably outdated info. And then with the onesie positions, like, I'm one to talk because I went onesie with Drake May in my other league, and I'm pretty much banking on him. So banking on Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he looked good week 1. Yes, he could blow us all out of the water. We know that, but I think I'd have more faith if he didn't just lose Xavier Worthy and he's missing Rashee Rice. Like, I think the Chiefs are maybe if they are wanting to throw the ball more, they are now like Fine, we'll run the ball again this year. And Kyle Pitts seems like he may be a good pick, but Patrick Mahomes and Kyle Pitts, like, he is taking big shots on sleepers who have disappointed. Post-hype sleepers who have disappointed year after year after year. So what's different this year? I don't know. But if they pop off, then yes, this could be easily a top 3 team. I have no bad things to say about the wide receiver room. The distribution makes it so that his floor is really low, and his starting lineup puts a lot of good players on the bench. But knowing John, with how good of a manager he is, I know he can place higher than this, but this is where I'm ranking it.
Oh, yeah. He definitely, I mean, he won last year's league in our redraft league. He was, and nobody
destroyed me.
By the end of the year, nobody expected him to be that good. I ranked his team super low, and he proved me totally wrong. So, but like everything you said there, I agree. I did not actually, when I ranked this team 8th, I didn't even see the running back depth was this bad, and he just dropped his 4th running back for another wide receiver. I mean, like, I like these wide receivers, but man, like, is it worth that? I don't know. Like, I feel like I would get rid of some of them just to have some more safety at running back, especially because it's a very injury-prone position. That being said, I like Bucky Irving. I don't like him that much. I did not like him going in the 2nd round. Personally, I'm not high on him. But 3rd round is huge value, as he said, for Bucky Irving.
It's true.
Getting Nico Collins in round 2, there are a lot of people who thought before the season he could be the wide receiver 1. Now, part of why I didn't like this team as much, because the funny thing is, I looked at this and my first thought was, man, this team is good. I was like, this team, I love this team. And then I kept looking at it and kept thinking about it, and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of scary. Because, like, CeeDee Lamb, great wide receiver. I think he'll be really good this year. No real worries there. Personally, Nico Collins, great wide receiver. A lot of worries there just because they don't have any O-line, basically, as week 1 showed. And I think that they could have done stuff in week 1, but it was just like CJ Stroud couldn't even hardly get the ball out of the pocket. He just kept getting knocked down. And that could be because the Rams have a good defense. Again, I'm a Rams fan. I like their defense, but I don't think it's so good that they shouldn't have been able to do anything on the passing game, and it was just not good. And that's a little scary to me now because I really liked Nico Collins. One of my favorite ways to draft was getting Nico Collins and Devon A. Chan in round 2. And it's not – so I think getting him in round 2 is huge value. And I can't say this yet, but I'm just a little scared. And then your running back, too, is Kenneth Walker. I drafted Kenneth Walker in another league myself, but he's on my bench because he did not do well in week 1. It was scary. Zach Charbonnet, everybody says he looked better. And it's just scary. I don't know if he's going to be good. He's a very injury-prone player, and now his team is even starting to split the backfield. Having that as a running back, too, I know that, Luke, you're saying you're like, he's not dead, but at the same time, I feel like you can kind of get him for a value price almost. And John really needs Kenneth Walker to work out because basically the only good proven running back on your team is Bucky Irving, who just had like a late breakout last year. Quinshon Judkins is a huge piece of trouble for your team. I think that he could be really good. He has the potential. He has the talent. I remember seeing a little post where he said ball security is job security, which is kind of hilarious given all the events that have happened with him since. It's scary because I don't know how his team is going to like him after this, but of course they have a lot of culture issues already, so I don't know if he'll be out of. But that doesn't
matter on the Browns.
Seriously. I didn't even see like that he just had Kyle Pitts and Patrick Mahomes. I didn't see that entirely. And like, yeah, Kyle Pitts, he could have that breakout season. It could happen. He has that 101 value. It's like that's been every single year, and every single year he's disappointed.
But Robbie,
it wasn't the worst.
But Robbie, what if it happens? What if it happens this year?
I mean, it could.
Maybe it'll happen this time.
One. maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. It could happen this year. It could happen. Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he was worth that at all. I mean, it's good value for where he's usually drafted, but he was like for me, I was like, I am not drafting Patrick Mahomes unless it's in like round like 12 or something like that. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but the team does not play the way that you want. Like in the same way, Justin Herbert could be really good for the NFL, and he looked like he might be able to be very exciting. But Patrick Mahomes has that too. He's proven it. He's been the quarterback one. He's been the MVP. He's been all those things. Is he going to do that this year with a broken Xavier Worthy, with a washed up Travis Kelce, which I drafted him, and I don't know, and what, Rashee Rice suspended? I don't know. It's just a little scary. I just don't think he's going to be that good. So those positions are not secure. Wide receiver is relatively secure because you're always going to have guys to just shove in there. But still, it's just little, I don't know. You're a little too heavy on wide receiver, like Luke said. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I like it, though. It could be a really, really good team. If CeeDee Lamb and Nico Collins work out like they're supposed to, man, this could be the best team in our league, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, well said. Like you said, if QB, RB, and tight end work out, then this is an awesome roster. But there's just very little contingency.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for number eight? Number eight.
We'll start with this one. Okay. Whoa.
Massive disparity here, my guy.
This is crazy.
Go Lions 1, 2, 2, 4. Robbie has them in 9th. I have them in 4th place.
Okay. This is very interesting.
We can begin the discussion. Brian, unfortunately, because he's giving birth right now to his child. No, he's not. But you know, he gets a pass. He did not send in a video this time. Yes. But here's his team. You may take the floor, oh, a doubter, my doubting friend.
Okay, so it's just, I just don't believe in a lot of it. After week, I was never, okay, I'll just go with from left to right here, because I can tend to go on a lot about different players here. Bo Nix, I love him. For fantasy. I think he's probably going to be decent this year. I drafted him in one of my leagues, but I don't know. I think he's going to be good. Not much to say there. I think he's going to be solid, not the best, not the worst. He'll be fantasy acceptance. He won't disappoint you entirely, but he'll definitely have some down weeks, and he'll definitely have some really good weeks. Running back, Ashton Genty scares the heck out of me, man. I think he's a fantastic running back. He's the second highest paid in the league. The Raiders, they don't have the worst offensive line by any means, but it looked this last Sunday enough of a problem that he might not get the kind of load people acted like. I think Ashton Genty will be this year's Marvin Harrison Jr. because he was way too highly drafted, in my opinion. Maybe round 3 I would have drafted him, but not round 1. That's intense. James Cook, I like him. He's a little scary because of the touchdown dependency, but I like him. He's good. Travis Etienne looked really good. Looked like what he was drafted as last year. So that's exciting. RJ Harvey, very potential based. As a Broncos fan, Tank Bigsby, non-existent. You probably dropped him at some point, or you should when you have the chance to, because he's basically the kick returner for the Eagles now. Trey McBride, great. No complaints there. Fantastic pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown, great. Very much a floor player. Very much a weekly decent player. Not going to give you many ceilings, but he's great. Devonta Smith. This is where I start to get a little iffy. The wide receiver room, I don't like it very much, except for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Devonta Smith, not fantastic in fantasy last year. He could be a decent wide receiver too, but I just think the way that A.J. Brown is being used in that offense, AJ Brown should have a higher fantasy finish than Devonta Smith. And I don't know how high AJ Brown is going to finish. He's going to have good weeks here and there. But Devonta Smith is also just, I don't know. I don't feel very confident about that pick. I don't feel very confident about Rome Odunze. That being said, he had a good week 1, but I still just don't think that's a scary thing. Chris Olave, great player, very injury prone in a very awful situation. Jerry Jeudy, decent player in a very awful situation. And the same thing, Rashid Shaheed is the same problem as Chris Olave, except without the injury proneness. Just an awful situation. Spencer Rattler should not be a starting NFL quarterback, period. So I just think that maybe I just don't like the team. Maybe I have a personal vendetta. I just don't think it's that good.
Is this
and I don't
a Bengals situation?
Anywhere. What?
Is this a Bengals situation?
Kind of. I mean, I don't know if I would say I don't think that there are some picks in here that are really good, but it's just kind of like it's going to probably be a mediocre team. Maybe I should have ranked it higher. I just don't like it very much. I think Trevor Lawrence will not be good this year. And I'm a little scared for that because I have Brian Thomas, but I just think it's not going to be. It's a very safe team, and he won't finish awfully. He's definitely not going to get last. Looking at this, I think I was a little lower on it than I should have been. But honestly, at first when I was going through this, I put his team last. I don't know why I did that entirely. It's not that bad, but it's just the running back room scares me, man. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird team. And I did kind of make these rankings. Well, no, I didn't, but still, it's just I don't feel that good about it when I look at it. It just gives me bad vibes a little bit, but that's me. Anyway, take it away.
Yeah, I hear I don't know who hurt you from this team last year, but I think this is actually a very, very high floor team. That's the main point behind my argument when I kind of broke down his team. A few things stand out to me. I don't really care that much about Trevor Lawrence. I care about Bo Nix. If you're going to talk about a value pick in the 6th round, I would much rather have Bo Nix than Pat Mahomes. Yes, the first week he sucked. If Brian wants to trade me Bo Nix, I would love to have Bo Nix. I think he's going to be fantastic this year. I think that week 1, you get weird things happening. Like Bo Nix trying to be Patrick Mahomes and make crazy throws. I think the strong point of this team is the running back room. The Genty, Cook, Harvey all feel like they have really high explosiveness, and Travis Etienne seems like he's going to be an amazing pick as they've traded away his main competition, and he's going to basically just get to be, despite maybe, I don't know if Brian believes in Travis Etienne's talent, but I do believe in Etienne's workload now. I think he's going to be a fine play. He's got it tied up at a tight end with Trey McBride, and his wide receivers, like, you got to have a weak point somewhere, and this would be his weak point, but when you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and then all these matchup-based dart throws, I feel like he actually has the I have him, let's see, I have him having the tied for the best running back room in the league. It's a 3-way tie for me. And as far as floor, he's tied for first in a 3-way tie in my rankings. So I like this team a lot. I think it's going to be stable. I think it was well drafted to cover up weak spots. It's not as explosive, but I think it's going to fail far less than most other teams.
That's a very fair point. I can agree with that. I think I was just in a certain mood when I ranked the teams. So a lot of these might be very erratic picks for me, but still.
Oh, nothing wrong with that, man. This is
I
a game
stand by what I said.
Logic. Jamar Chase going to be a bottom 40 wide receiver this year. That's my logic take, you know.
Logic. I mean, he didn't look good in week 1. Joe Burrow didn't either. The Bengals will be like a bottom 5 offense, obviously.
They'll bounce back, especially the week I play against Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Number 7.
Guess what? In our consensus rankings, we had a tie, meaning that the average position of these two teams was the same. So you know what I did? I called in the OG. I called in Isaac the Bowen to break the tie, and he said his team was far better than Laporta Potty.
I quite agree.
So, yes, you do. So, Laporta Potty comes in at number 7. Robbie has them in 7th, and I have them at 5th. Managed by Jarrett. Let's hear what Jarrett has to say.
So, Team Laporta Potty has the best draft, the best players, the best everything. Look at the rankings. I'm number 1. If you can beat me, good luck.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, me, Ghost, and Pro Laser Tagger, we all play competitive laser tag together. So that's our connection.
I see it. You start with this team here?
I will start with this team here. I'll start for Scherzies. Laporta Potty. Laporta Potty, I think, is pretty solid across the board. I do think they have a lower floor, but one of the best ceilings in the league. The strong point is the running back room. Barkley, Taylor, apparently DeAndre Swift, the workhorse, and the safety of Montgomery, who I don't think he'll be as good as last year, but I think he'll still be like safe. His like Justin Herbert, I wasn't crazy about the quarterback room, to be honest. I thought that was pretty mid as a quarterback room. You need a matchup for Jared Goff to go off, but Herbert seems like he might be more of a thrower this year than people expected. I think the tight ends, to be honest, are kind of mid. Like these are both post hype sleepers, and they have let you down in the past. They're going to have some reason to be coming back for Laporta and Kincaid to be good. And the wide receiver room feels like a lot of old will they fall off this year or will they not players. And I bet some of them are going to fall off and some of them are not going to fall off. But at the end of the day, this team, I think, rides or dies by its explosiveness. And without the explosions, I do see a lower tier team for sure. But I think he's going to really pull up a lot of upsets this year.
Yeah, I could see it.
What do you think?
So I think to start, I'll do what I did before because I like breaking down these teams by every like individual player as quickly as I can, but still it takes a while. Justin Herbert, at first I did not believe in the quarterback room, like you said. Jared Goff should not be started in fantasy personally. Justin Herbert now, I really like him at quarterback. I really like this better than when I first looked at it. I didn't think he was going to be great. He proved me wrong. Having a week 1 like that against the Chiefs defense was great. Now, other than that, I think, again, like you said, the running back room is fantastic. I think it's one of the best in our league. Saquon is going to be great. Jonathan Taylor is going to be great. DeAndre Swift will be a very, very good backup. The Madden curse, you never know. But DeAndre Swift will be a very good floor player. David Montgomery scares me a lot personally because I bought in, if you see my draft, I bought into Jahmyr Gibbs being more of a workhorse and them doing less of a timeshare. Now, that didn't look to be exactly what they wanted to do in week 1, but also Jahmyr Gibbs was their highest targeted player past any wide receiver, and then it was Sam Laporta, which was kind of funny. That transitions well into another player. I actually like him this year. I think he won't be as good as his first year. He will be better than last year.
I didn't know he had a mustache. I'm higher on the ranks now.
That is a good reason to rank him higher for sure.
Yep.
I like the mustache. It's very nice. I think he'll be decent this year. I don't know if he'll be the best, but he was weirdly enough the second highest targeted person, and there was not a wide receiver in the first 2 highest targeted players on their team this last week. That being said, he was decent, and the Packers defense is looking absolutely incredible. So you could see either David Montgomery or Sam Laporta doing even better than they did last week by a long shot, depending on how they want to use it. But I don't know. I think Ben Johnson was a master at being able to almost feed all these different players in the offense. And I think that without Ben Johnson there, they are going to rely more heavily on their big three at each of these positions, on Jahmyr Gibbs, on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and on Sam Laporta. And I think Sam Laporta will look like their wide receiver too, essentially, which I really like, over Jameson Williams, which sucks for me because I drafted Jameson in one draft, not in this one. But I like it, which is kind of weird because I did not rank it high. Now, one thing that I haven't said is the wide receiver room kills me. I saw a meme recently that was like, A.J. Brown is one of the best wide receivers. It's like somebody explaining fantasy football. They're saying A.J. Brown is super good. He's super athletic. He's super talented. The one problem is that Jalen Hurts forgets that he's actually a part of the Eagles team. And that meme was very relatable for me based on the week 1 performance. He wasn't hardly even targeted. They just didn't want to throw the ball. I think A.J. Brown is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, but I also think that he's not going to be good this year at all because of the way that his team plays. I think that Mike Evans might look more like the wide receiver 2 on the Buccaneers because I'm very high on Emeka Egbuka. I think Michael Pittman is a very surprisingly good pick. I like that, and his week 1 performance was very solid. Stephon Diggs could be solid. Calvin Ridley could be very solid. Jordan Addison. At this point on your wide receiver room, there's no problem having Jordan Addison as your wide receiver 6 because he could be a very good wide receiver too. I think that it's just, again, I kind of look at these and I'm like, yeah, was I right in my rankings? Not entirely. Thing is, you have to have very deep teams for this league because I made it so that your starting lineup will start players that you might feel slightly uncomfortable starting. And that's the goal, is that you need to have these players that might be breakouts or might be floor players that are later. It's just to make it more interesting and more, and I don't think this team has that ability as well to be able to start that many guys. I think running back, they're good. There are 3 really good running backs there. I think quarterback, you're solid now because Justin Herbert looks better. Both Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid looked better. So there's some bright sides. I don't like the wide receiver room very much because, like you said, it's very old and very kind of rusty. And I think Mike Evans will be probably your wide receiver 1, but I don't think he will be the wide receiver 1 on his own team. I'm just not very high on it. I think that it'll be interesting, but it kind of rides and dies based on those 2 really good running backs, in my opinion.
One, I'm a huge fan of the way you set up the lineups. I love that we have to make all these cool start-sit decisions on our flexes and having a really small bench, lots of starting players. 2, yeah, I see what you mean. Honestly, I bet this team has, by a good margin, the oldest average age of players on the team. Because I'm not thinking much about breakouts. I'm thinking of continuing to perform or returning to form for a lot of these players. And I do worry about that with the wide receiver room more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's keep going.
All right.
Number 6. Obviously, the other tie was Gimli's Giblets, Robbie 5th, me 7th. Let's see what Isaac, Robbie's older brother, by the way, for those of you who don't know, has to say.
Highly questionable. Joe Burrow and Derrick Henry could get me places, but I'll be killed by my flex spots.
He told me his video was not very.
He's a man of few words, speaks soft, carry a large stick.
He has a very large stick, in my opinion.
You get to start on this one. Your older brother, who just made a fresh waiver claim for 40 smackaroos.
40 for Dak. I love it. Actually, I just forgot something. I remember when I was drafting, my favorite thing to do was pick up Joe Burrow and then do Dak as a backup. Dak and Joe have the same bye week.
Let's go.
A Dak up. He's not going to be a Dak up unless Joe gets injured because Dak has the same bye week as Joe.
Ooh, okay.
A little
Okay.
scary.
No refunds.
No refunds on that. But I still, that being said, ignoring that fact, which is a big factor because you might have to roster another quarterback, but I love the quarterback room. I think it might be the strongest in our league now, especially with Dak. I think Dak is going to be great this year. I think that you can have the same argument about Joe and Dak, that they both have really bad defenses and they'll be explosive. Joe Burrow is honestly my quarterback one this year. I think he's going to be great, even though he had a bad week 1 performance. I think Dak will be great. I think they'll pass a lot with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb being both really good wide receivers. I think the running back room is pretty solid. I think Derrick Henry, I mean, look at that week 1 performance. Oh, he was so good.
Oh, yeah.
So good. James Conner, I think he's not as washed as people think he was. Last year, he had his first completely healthy season, which we love to see that. I mean, I have Trey Benson, so I'm kind of betting that maybe something will happen there, but it's just a bench bet that might happen. I think I'd still put more money on James Conner being good again. I think Tyrone Tracy, even though he didn't look fantastic, I think it's still his backfield. I still think he'll be good. Zach Charbonnet looked like a really good pick already, which I wasn't expecting because one thing he told me is that he likes having 3 handcuff players that he thinks are the best 3 handcuff players for the league. So that might not look great on week 1, but I think that they could be good. And I think Zach Charbonnet is already turning out well. Last year, he played way better than Kenneth Walker when Kenneth Walker was out, maybe because Kenneth Walker was dealing with injury stuff. But he looked good, and he was fantastic for fantasy last year when Kenneth Walker was not playing. Ollie Gordon was almost a Heisman winner, and then he got injured. And Devon Achane is one of the most injury-prone running backs in the NFL, and they love throwing to him and using him. So if Ollie Gordon takes that role, he'll be great. Braylon Allen, I don't think that one will work out because I actually really like Breece Hall now. After week 1, I liked what I saw from Breece Hall. That's one pick that I do not like. The tight end room is kind of crazy because it almost makes you have to flex a tight end. But David Njoku, I was very high on at the start of the year. I might not be quite as high on him now, but I still think one of these tight ends will be a very solid tight end between David Njoku and TJ Hawkinson. I was really high on David Njoku. He was my tight end 4 for the year behind the 3 big guys, but I don't know. Either one, I think one of them will work out for him. And he's talked about wanting to trade one of them for something, and I think he might be able to get that once one of them has a solid performance. I don't know about Marvin Mims. I kind of like him as a Broncos fan, but I'm not super high. I think the wide receiver room, can we go back to that one graphic that you had of all his players? Perfect. I like the wide receiver room a lot. Puka is maybe one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Just saying. I think he might be wide receiver 3 behind. Honestly, I could see him being the wide receiver 1 this year. That's a spicy prediction. He's my favorite personal player ever. So I would be very much open to trading for him, but I don't think he will allow that. I think even with the first 2 performances not looking great, I think the Commanders were against decent defenses I don't know, week 1, the Giants defense isn't the best, but it's actually better than people give it credit for. I think that he'll still be good. He was on track to be the wide receiver 4 last year. I think Terry is a fantastic pick. I think Pickens is a really good pick and that he'll be decent as a wide receiver 2. I just like this team a lot. I think it's kind of the opposite of the Laporta Potty team where the Laporta Potty team might be better than people give it credit for, than I gave it credit for. It probably is. But I think I like this team a lot and it gives me good vibes, whereas the other one does not give me good vibes based on the wide receiver room. Any team that has Puka will get as much favor as I can give it. I like it a lot. I think I'm very high on this one. And Joe will be fantastic. Derrick Henry will be fantastic. Puka will be fantastic. So there's my thoughts.
Look, when you have a team where your 3 mascots are Joe Burrow, Derrick Henry, and Puka Nacua, vibes are what you get. There's no team with less vibes. There's no team with more swag on it than this team.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
we're getting higher up now, and it's hard to differentiate 10 teams with pretty good players on it and to really like decide this one's better than that one. The reason I don't like this team very much is because I think the floor is one of the lowest in the league. But I think the upside is one of the highest in the league. Tied for one of my top 3 highest upsides. I love Puka Nacua. I agree. He could be the #1 receiver this year. I'm more worried about Matthew Stafford than Puka Nacua health-wise.
Yeah, definitely.
That gives me fear, but if they stay healthy, and I don't see why they wouldn't, I think Puka could be a smash hit this year. One I never picked up. But besides Puka, I just feel like there's nothing I feel good about in that wide receiver room, to be honest. I'm worried that Terry McLaurin's going to get far less usage this year with Deebo Samuel there now, and that George Pickens is going to be boom bust, kind of like he always has been. I want to believe the Cowboys will be good, and I clearly I'm much lower than other people, but because I dropped Dak Prescott for him to pick up for the 40, which big move. Did you see? Did anybody else bet on Dak Prescott?
I put 17 waiver, 17 on him. So
pretty big bomb.
Definitely. I would have had 3 quarterbacks if I got him, and I was okay with that because Dak is that good for me.
Cool. Well, it's not that I don't want you to have success, but I don't want you to beat me with that success. Yeah. I saw better options personally, so I took the shot. I'm not excited about the tight end room. I think the big reason, like, I want to be in on Njoku, but I didn't realize there was a highly touted rookie tight end that was going to come in week 1 and get a ton of usage. Now Njoku's in a timeshare. I don't want to start Njoku in any of my leagues, if that's the case. Yeah. Derrick Henry is obviously amazing, but I don't feel really great about any of the running backs below him in this room. Like, yes, I see what he's saying with the handcuffs, but betting on other players getting injured isn't, I think, a very reliable strategy. Tracy's not going to be able to run very much on that offense. Connor is already sharing a ton with Trey Benson. So I feel like the top 3 of this team are really good. I do think Joe Burrow will bounce back, but I'm just so worried that he's going to have players failing him week in and week out, that he's not going to have a floor. But again, and I can say this about pretty much every manager in this league, but knowing Isaac, I think he'll figure it out if he realizes he has that problem. I think he'll make the right moves, but he can trade Puka Nacua to you and get your entire team if he needs to. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Zach Charbonnet, man.
Charbonnet was a good pick for sure.
I think he'll be like Chase Brown, honestly. This year's Chase Brown, in my opinion.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That would be something.
Yeah. All right.
Let's keep going. We had another tie.
Ooh.
Pro Laser Tagger versus your team, Cool Runnings. So that's Gabe, and I asked Isaac the Bowen, and he said he favors your team. So
okay.
You get to be in the higher seed. 5th place goes to Pro Laser Tagger number 5. Let's see what Gabe the Babe has to say. Did I not? Oh, I reversed the order. My bad.
I think my draft was pretty good. I'm really happy. 1 of 1. I had to get Chase. I'm happy with the tight end selections I got. I'm happy with my receivers and running backs. It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah. There we go. Pro Laser Tagger. Oh wait, sorry. I did that right actually. Here's the introduction screen, and then the video, and then there's the roster.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I get to start on this one. Let's see. So, oh shoot. So I put them
3rd.
I put them 3rd? Did I? I did put them 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah, I put them 3rd. You put them 6th. I'm out of whack. I'm out of line. Someone needs to calm me down. All right. This team does excite me though. Put them in 3rd for a reason. First of all, he doesn't need that many tight ends, but that tight end room makes me very happy. Now, Brock Bowers is injured, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term injury. Sounds like he might miss this week, but in that case, I feel like he'll be back next week and he'll be fine. Breece Hall seems... The running back room is the weakest point of this team, but Breece Hall seems like he is going to be better than we thought. He's still going to get to be more of a workhorse than we thought. And he's pretty weak at this position. Aaron Jones, as a running back too, like he needs some depth bad. But beyond that, I do think having Lamar Jackson as your quarterback does give you a fair boost. And his wide receiver room, I think, is quite good. I really do believe in Jamar Chase and Cortland Sutton. I'm a little worried about Jamison Williams meeting his draft cost. If I'm really honest with you, right now, Robbie, as I'm looking at this roster, I don't know if I would actually keep it where I currently have it. I don't know if I'd keep it in third.
Where would you think you would put it?
I think I'd lower it 1 or 2 spots, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's closer to 4th or 5th. The reason I liked it so much is because I think it has very high upside. The onesie positions are elite. Lamar Jackson and Brock Bowers give the team a very high base to work on. If he can fix some of the bench on running back and wide receiver, and his guys stay healthy, then I do think he has very high upside in terms of his scoring potential, and he gets a natural floor having such good onesie positions.
Oh yeah.
So I see him going very far, but what do you think?
So I think my argument on this team is kind of the same as your argument on the last team, like the top 3 with Joe Burrow, Puka, and Derrick Henry. This is the same for me. Lamar, Bowers, and Chase, all, oh my word, so good. I love those 3 players. I think the rest of the team scares me. So Lamar, fantastic. Probably, he's my quarterback 1 personally on this season. He'll be, I said Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is my 1. Lamar is it's between Lamar and Josh Allen for my 2. I don't know for sure, but he'll be good. I don't care. Those are both. Lamar is going to be great. I don't think you should be rostering 3 quarterbacks. You actually dropped Brock Purdy, but that was just because of injury. I don't know if you play ESPN, because on a lot of ESPN leagues, they force you to roster a certain amount of onesie positions, which is obnoxious. Yeah, I'm managing my mom's fantasy team at her
criminal.
Work. It's criminal. You can't roster more than 3 wide receivers. It's awful.
Oh, I can tell you that's a league setting. That must be the Redeemer League, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. Pastor Tim, we gotta have a talk, man.
Oh yeah. So Lamar, great. CJ Stroud is probably a very talented quarterback. The offensive line is garbage. I don't think he'll be serving you as a decent backup. Brock Purdy is off the roster currently. Breece Hall, I actually like him a lot this year. I think he'll serve you well as running back 1. I think he could very easily finish within the top 12 running backs. That being said, I don't think he's a super high-end running back 1, but I like him. Aaron Jones, it looks like he's kind of getting succeeded a little bit by Jordan Mason, but he was actually decent last week. I just don't know. He's old, and it's hard to say. Brian Robinson is, in my opinion, the only handcuff really, really worth rostering, except for Zach Charbonnet. I really like Zach Charbonnet, but Brian Robinson, the backup to Christian McCaffrey, is almost always worth rostering. That's just a rule of thumb in fantasy. Ramondre, just ew. Brock Bowers, fantastic. I had him last year. I love the guy. He's a great player. Evan Ingram, kind of an injury-prone tight end, but as a Broncos fan, I hope he does very well, and I think he could. He could be the wide receiver 2 for the Broncos. Colston Loveland has a lot of talent. The Bears scare me a lot, but Ben Johnson will be a very good coach for them, I think. Jamar Chase, great. Don't overthink it. Good number 1 overall pick. Cortland Sutton, a very, very good floor wide receiver 2. It's funny because I told one of my friends he drafted both Jamar Chase and Cortland Sutton in my school league, and he doesn't know much about fantasy, and he had me helping him. And he texted me the other day yeah, I got 3 times. How did I get 3 times as many points from Cortland Sutton as I did Jamar Chase last week? And I was like, yeah, That could happen. But Jameson, very high upside, very low floor. Scary player to roster, but he's very fun. Although he is your wide receiver 3. And that does raise a bit of eyebrows for me. I'm a little scared with that. Khalil Shakir, interesting. Not very high, not very low. He's just a very average player. Cooper Kupp, very scary this year. Juwan Jennings, injured, but very scary this year. Could be good. Jaden Reed, he's going to be playing injured the entire year. I don't like it. I think one thing that caught my attention when I was looking at this team is that he's having to flex Evan Ingram, and I hate that personally. I think it's just it's not a good place to be. I think that my argument with this team is the same as the last team, is that I just don't like what's beyond the starting the first 4 players for each position. Even Breece Hall is a little scary. I hated this team a lot more before with Breece Hall as the running back 1, but now I think it could work out. I like Courtland Sutton a lot. That was a great pick. But beyond that, at wide receiver, it scares me. Tight end, having to start a tight end, 2 tight ends is not good. The running backs, I'm not confident that anybody beyond Breece Hall will finish well. And when I say well, I mean top 24, top 36. Aaron Jones will probably be a top 36 running back. I just think that he will not serve you well as a running back 2. I think Lamar is great, and the quarterbacks are not worth rostering on here. I don't think CJ Stroud is worth rostering until he looks good without an offensive line, because that's what he's got, is basically nothing. So, yeah, I don't know. I like the vibes. Lamar, Brock Bowers, and Jamar Chase just feel so good, and then everything else looks a little, except for Courtland Sutton, looks a little iffy.
I'm with you. Everyone's keepers or top few players should look really good in this league every year. That shouldn't honestly be too much of a factor in determining the rankings, because you got to start so many more players in those top 3. And I'm convinced I would definitely move this probably 2 or 3 spots lower at this point. This team needs to cut half the roster. There are so many backups that I think are just not worth holding on to. Sure, injured players, but also the wide receiver room. The only one of those guys I'd probably keep right now is if you could put Jennings on the IR and keep Shakir, he seems like he might be better, but I would drop Kupp and Jaden Reed. I would maybe cut CJ Stroud for sure. I'd probably cut Colston Loveland. He just needs some more lottery tickets, some other upside shots. But otherwise, the top end of this team is elite. One of the best top ends in the league. So he's kind of riding on that. Okay.
Arguably quarterback 1, tight end 1, wide receiver 1. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's hard to pass up. Let's keep on moving. Number 4.
Oh boy.
All right.
Here it is.
We're going to have a fight, Robbie.
Oh, we are totally going to have a fight.
Robbie put himself in first. I put Robbie in 8th. Let's see what Robbie has to say. Robbie from the past.
Hello, my name is Robbie, and my team is the Cool Runnings team. I am also the commissioner of our league. And I nicknamed my team the Cool Runnings team because I have 3 cool running backs that I think will all do very well this year, and I expect to destroy you all. And also, yes, Cool Runnings is easily the most creative nickname in our league that you've ever heard in any fantasy league ever, because I'm just that cool. Also, I'm 17 years old, so if you lose to my team, well, you just got wrecked by a minor, so enjoy that. That'll be fun for you. So have fun getting wrecked by minors.
The smile at the end kills me.
Oh boy.
All right, Fred, why don't you I think you start this time.
Oh, do I? Man.
Don't you? Oh,
do I?
Yeah, I started with Pro Laser Tagger, I thought.
Oh, you did, yeah. Okay, so I love this team. I think it's great. I did draft it, so here's what I got. Baker Mayfield, he was like the quarterback 3 last year. He does not have what is his name? The offensive coordinator that left and is now the head coach of Jacksonville. He doesn't have Liam Cohen anymore. That's it. But still, like, he showed he can do that, and he has the talent to do that, and now he has MBK Buka. He has all this stuff. I think he'll be great. Justin Fields, I did just start Justin Fields over Baker Mayfield for next week. Justin Fields had a great week 1 performance. I think he is my dark horse player to finish within the top 5 quarterbacks this year. I think he'll be great. I think the Jets looked way better than we thought they were going to be. I think Aaron Glenn's going to be great. I think they're just completely a different team from last year. I don't think they'll be the best team ever, but I think they'll be way better than we give him credit for, and I think he'll finish very well. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think is going to he was by far the most targeted player on the Lions last week. He was great. Last year, he was like the running back 2 because David Montgomery got injured near the end of the year, but I don't think we're going to need that injury to happen for him to be great this year. I think with the way that they were using him in week 1 and the way that I thought they were going to use him, that he is going to be fantastic. I think he could very easily be the running back 1 this year. I think Chase Brown is going to be great. Though he was the one bright spot in fantasy on the Bengals for people last week, and I think he'll be even better in weeks heading forward. I think he'll be very well used. I've heard them say that they want to use Chase Brown like Austin Eckler was used in past years, and he said, I think I can do that. And if he does that, Austin Eckler was the running back 1 by a good margin when he was a really good player back in the day. He was good. Alvin Kamara was fantastic last year for most of the year. He did get injured near the end of the stretch, so I'm expecting that will happen this year. Jalen Warren, a very good floor. He's very gross to roster, but he'll be a very good floor. Austin Eckler, I dropped Austin Eckler because he was injured. Before that, I was very dead set convinced that he was going to be the running back 1 for the Commanders, and I think he might have had there not been that, but now I dropped him for, I believe, Quentin Johnston. Trey Benson, like you said, he is eating a lot into James Conner's workload. I'm not relying on Trey Benson because I have good depth at running back, but I think he could be a candidate to be great this year. I kind of hate the Travis Kelce to pick, to be honest. I did drop Mason Taylor for Brenton Strange, which I like a lot more. But Travis Kelce, man, the wide receiver room and the Chiefs does not look good. It's been very bad and very problematic, and I think because of that, Travis Kelce will be interesting. I will admit that his week 1 was a very scary thing because he didn't do anything until the end of the game where he got like a 37-yard touchdown and it added 10 points to his score, and it saved me for Travis Kelce, but still. Mason Taylor I was high on as a rookie tight end that is the starting tight end for the Jets. Brenton Strange even more so with Liam Cohen as that thing. I think he can be great. Brian Thomas is a very good wide receiver. I just hope that Trevor Lawrence kicks it into high gear for me because I did not expect that coming out of week 1, but I think he'll still be a lot better this week, and he's very talented, and he's definitely got what he needs. I just need Trevor Lawrence to use him like Mac Jones used him last year, which is kind of hilarious. DK Metcalf is probably the best late-round player to pick to be finished within the top 12 wide receivers. I don't think he is going to, but I think he very much could because what else do the Steelers have? Calvin Austin. He did solid last week. Is he going to keep doing that? And Aaron Rodgers actually looked like he can support a good wide receiver 1 last week. I have a teacher that's a huge Steelers fan, and he was like, Aaron Rodgers looked like Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers. He looked great, apparently. I didn't watch the game, but what I've heard is he looked great. Devontae Adams, I've heard a lot of people even say, which is crazy. I don't believe this personally, but he is a lot of people's dark horse to win wide receiver 1. I don't think that's going to happen. That's insane that people think that, but I still think he'll be good. I think he's still got it a lot more than Cooper Kupp did. And I think that there was a good many games that people seem to forget about with Cooper Kupp that he was great last year, even with Puka as the wide receiver 1 on the team. And I think Devontae Adams can do just what Cooper Kupp did, but not fall apart near the end of the year completely. I still think he's got it for maybe 1 or 2 more years. Ricky Pearsall is one of my favorite picks. I think it's the same argument with Brian Thomas last year. I think he'll be like Brian Thomas last year. He even has Mac Jones. So he's going to have the same quarterback throwing to him. And
That's a good
who
argument.
the heck else do the 49ers have?
Christian
Give me
McCaffrey.
other players. They have Christian McCaffrey. Who else? Who else do they have? Henry, what was the tight end that they're using now? Henry Lounge or whatever? They don't have Mr. Kittle for like 5 weeks, potentially. They have Jawan Jennings, who's injured. Then their next up guy is like Demarcus Robinson. I can tell you as a Rams fan, no. Just no. It's going to be Ricky Pearsall. He's going to be great. He's going to be finished as a great wide receiver. I almost guarantee it. Quentin Johnston is one of my favorite waiver wire pickups. I think he'll be solid. If you like Justin Herbert this year, then you almost have to like Quentin Johnston. And I honestly am not as high on Lad McConkey as other people, and I think Quentin Johnston could. And this is the same argument you can use for Kyle Pitts, but he could be like the wide receiver one for them. He could. So could Keenan Allen. So could Lad McConkey. All of them are talented. And if Quentin Johnston can hold on to the ball and not drop it 50 times, then he could be good. But again, I love my wide receiver room. I love my running back room. I don't have to rely on that. What I like about my team, that's a contrast to the Pro Laser Tagger team before me, is that it has multiple guys that I can feel comfortable starting in my flex. When a player misses a week, I have guys on my bench that I can just shove in there and I can feel very comfortable about having. I think my bench is great. I think my depth is great. I think this is going to be a great year for my team. And if I don't finish first, which like I predicted myself to maybe finish, I'm going to finish very high. And I can almost guarantee you that.
Ooh, we got the almost guarantee. All right. Well, basically my response to every description of every player you gave, almost every player, is meh, I'm betting the under. I mean, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Gibbs will be great. You convinced me on Ricky Pearsall. That is definitely a good argument that everyone's dead on his team except for him. Isn't he dealing with something though right now?
Nope. He's good.
He's good.
Yeah, he got shot last year, but he's not shot this year.
That's weird. That he's not injured like all the other 49ers, but that's good.
It's good that Christian McCaffrey is not injured.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
I know. I put the odds at 75% chance that Christian McCaffrey goes out for the season this week.
Really?
I'm joking. I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm freaking out because they're going to try to use him 40 times, and yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel super safe playing either of your quarterbacks. I'm not going to overreact to Justin Fields week 1. I think he'll be better than people thought for sure. I was going to take him in our Bible Boys league before you took him. I was going to take him with the pick right after you. So it's not that I didn't believe he can't be a good backup, but I do expect there will be some games this year where teams just figure him out and he flops.
Yeah.
I think Chase Brown can be good as he'll go, I think, as the Bengals offense goes, which means I think he'll pick up and be really good second half of the year when they're desperately trying to get into playoffs. But I mean, everyone else just feels like a floor play to me. I mean, Eckler is obviously off your roster now, but but I worry about the ceiling on any of them. Not a fan of Travis Kelce. I think he's going to regress significantly, and I know Mason Taylor could be good, but I highly doubt he's going to begin getting significant volume from Justin Fields.
I'm rostering Brenton Strange now, though.
Okay, I didn't update that. My bad. I need to.
That's fine.
I should make these the day before the rankings.
Maybe.
Brian Thomas is amazing. I had him last year, but turns out you traded him last year. You still have him.
I did.
You have him.
I
right
still
now,
have him.
Turns out in the games where he had Trevor Lawrence, he was actually a lot less effective than in the games he had with Mac Jones because Mac Jones hyper targeted him. And now that he also has massive target competition, I wonder if it's gonna repeat at that level. I don't think he's gonna be a top 5 wide receiver. I'm thinking more 5 to 15 for him. Metcalf does look promising with Aaron Rodgers. Ricky Pearsall looks kind of promising. I don't think we're getting old Devontae Adams. And Quentin Johnston, pump the brakes. He's still the number 3 receiver on a team that would like to run the ball when they can. Mm-hmm. So my ultimate argument for putting you in 8th place, Robbie, is that I have your floor being one of the lowest in the league. Do you have upside? Absolutely. Do I think that you're going to be the most active manager in the league? Absolutely. Can you figure it out? Can I be wrong? Absolutely on all of that. But you just don't stack up for me to compared to the competition.
Okay. Interesting.
Your team doesn't.
Yeah,
you stack up. You as a person stack up for sure. But there's the challenge. You gave me a guarantee today that you would place high. So
I gave you a guarantee that I'd place high. Yeah, 100%. And I stand by that.
So maybe we should make some kind of a bet. Just if you can place in the top 5 in the league, there should be some kind of a bet here. What do you think?
Maybe. I don't know. What were we thinking?
Top 5, bottom 5. We can do that.
Yeah. I bet I'll be top 5.
Okay.
That's a bet right there.
How about we just straight up bet our last pick of next year's draft?
I 100% agree with that.
All right. Winner gets an extra last pick in next year's draft.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right.
Let's continue. Number 3. The Knox Packerbacker. Robbie put him at number 6, and I put him at number 2. This is your Uncle Eric, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Uncle Eric, I left you a very nice message, and you didn't get back to me. So I found someone to be representative today.
Oh.
Rodgers is inside the pylon. Touchdown Packers. It's Rodgers running for the score. Right on cue, Joe.
I own you, I still own you is what Uncle Eric's going to be saying for years and years in this league, I think, when he runs away with the win. Shall I start here?
All right, go ahead.
I shall start here. All right, why I put this team quite high. First of all, I think that's the best quarterback room in the league. Jaden Daniels with Kyler Murray as the backup. I think actually Kyler Murray is going to be pretty good this year. Tucker Kraft, this last week, the Thursday night game does validate a bit of my ranking. I actually had his tight end room being his definitely worst component of this team, but looks like Tucker Kraft still has that boom potential and it's there, and maybe that'll become more consistent this year. So that's really cool. The best part of the team for me is the wide receiver room. The Jefferson, McConkey, Target Hog, Wilson, to me, feels like an awesome, reliable trio right now. Matthew Golden does not feel awesome and reliable right now, but I think there's potential for him to start him in a flex if needed for boom bust potential, just because there's no other wide receivers right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the running back room has a high floor. Josh Jacobs, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard's going to get the start for a little while. Sampson seems like he's going to be above Chubb, but now we got Judkins coming in, so it's getting messy. But Jordan Mason feels like he's actually the better running back to have on the Vikings right now. So all that to say, I have him tied for the highest floor in the league, best quarterback room, and one of the best wide receiver rooms. I think he's got the consistency and the high floor to make it to a very high place this year.
Oh yeah. I guess he probably didn't respond to you because he's actually on a trip in Switzerland right now, so it's very hard for him to communicate.
That's a great excuse.
Yeah.
Be in Switzerland, Uncle Eric.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I look at this now, and I realize I ranked him 6th. I really like Isaac's team. I think this team might be a bit better. I'm not 100% certain about that. I also think I may have ranked your team a little too high, but I do like your team.
Fair enough.
I think that this team will, like you said, I think it's going to be a top 5. I can almost guarantee that too. But that's more of an almost guarantee for me. I think Jaden Daniels is a great player. I think people are far too hyped about him. I think he'll be fantastic. I think he'll be the best quarterback from that draft class, probably. Maybe not. Maybe Bo Nix will. But I think he'll be great. I think Kyler Murray has the potential to be great. I hate him with a fiery passion, as he let me down completely last year.
You've been burned so bad.
I have been burned so bad by Kyler, but having him as a backup is a good place to be. I will relent to that. Josh Jacobs is a fantastic running back. I'm very high on Chuba Hubbard this year. I think Tony Pollard is not the greatest running back, but I also think that it's like a good player to have for Cam Ward as a rookie quarterback, to just have a highly targeted running back, and he looked good. Jordan Mason, I like him a lot. Nick Chubb will be garbage. Sorry. If you're an old running back behind one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, then you're not going to be good. Dylan Sampson is not fun. Tucker Kraft is fantastic. Great pick. I think he will be one of the best tight ends this year, period. I think he might be the wide receiver 1 for the Packers.
Possibly.
Honestly, I watched the Thursday night game. He looked great. He just had so many big plays, so many explosive plays. It was great. What were you going to say?
No, I believe you.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson, fantastic wide receiver, great player. I believe in J.J. McCarthy enough that I think Justin Jefferson could be solid. He could be great, but I do not believe that he deserves the draft capital that he gets, because, I mean, he deserves it as a player. He's like, NFL-wise, he's my wide receiver 1. I think he's the best in the NFL, period. I think that this year for fantasy, it won't be quite as good as last year, and last year was a low wide receiver 2 finish. Last year, the wide receiver position, aside from Jamar Chase, was not great. I think that he will, kind of like an Amon-Ra St. Brown, give you a very good floor. Kind of like you said, he has one of the highest floors. Ladd McConkey, I know you said that Quentin Johnston is the number 3 on the Chargers. I think that this will be a very shaky wide receiver room, and on any given, any of them can be whatever. I talked to Isaac, and I think his point was very valid. What he said was, I think that he thinks that Keenan Allen will be the PPR machine. He'll get targeted like crazy constantly. He'll get thrown the ball tons. Quentin Johnston will be an end zone guy. He'll get targeted a lot in the end zone. He'll get high end like touchdowns. And I think Ladd McConkey is not quite the player that either of those two are in those specific areas, but I think that he is better. He's like a better, more well-rounded receiver between the two. So I think that the wide receiver room on any given week, one of them will be the wide receiver 1. And I do not think he is a solid wide receiver. And I think that he was way, way, way too highly drafted this year. A lot of people had him as their wide receiver 1 on their fantasy teams. And no, that's an awful idea. He will be as good as a guy like Garrett Wilson or a wide receiver 2 or like a Terry McLaurin, in my opinion. Garrett Wilson, great pick. I love it now, especially more than I did before. I think he'll be great. The bet on Justin Fields is also a bet on Garrett Wilson being a good receiver and being highly targeted, and the Jets just being a different kind of team. Matthew Golden doesn't feel great right now. Again, he could be great, could be very good. I've talked to my uncle about him. He thinks he could be the Packers wide receiver 1, like a Tyreek Hill. That's the type of player he profiles as. Romeo Doubs is a solid player. I don't feel great like starting him on any week, but he could be great on any given week. Dallas Goedert, I didn't mention him. Dallas Goedert is a great backup tight end to have. That's great. That's a great place to be. I think he's a solid startable tight end. He is having a bit of injury problems currently, so hopefully that doesn't look too bad for him. But I think this team is great. One thing that I didn't get the chance to say before is that I think what I have to say is that I think every team in this league is good. There's no team in this league where I'm like, this is just a bad team. What are you doing? There are teams like that in other leagues I've been in. This is not one of them. There is no person here that's just letting it go. Everybody is 100% fired up for this league and working hard. And the number 1 ranked team on this video could finish just as high as the number 10 ranked team because they're all that good. They're all that well drafted. They're all that well thought out. And so the margin between the 2nd team in our rankings and the 8th team in our rankings is not that big. That's what I have to say.
Completely agree. Well said. I disagree with Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert should be dropped for another running back flyer.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2. GROSS. Robbie put me in 4th, now lower, and I put myself in 3rd. Let's hear what I have to say. I've been looking forward to finding a league to actually sink my teeth into, where everyone's trading, everyone's trying their best, everyone knows who all 32 teams are. I am so hyped. I'm the fire commander, and y'all are going down!
He'll be good in 2027.
I agree.
Thank you for the Jarrett preaching some truth there. Okay, who's first here? I think it's you.
Is it? I thought I went first on my team. Or, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
and I went second. Yeah, it is me. Okay.
All right. Give it to me
Your
straight.
team is the same argument as the other Luke's team, but just better. Is what I'll give. I'll give you that. 100%. I'll give you
okay.
It's very risky running back stuff, very high upside. Risky wide receiver stuff, a little bit high upside. Quarterback, I don't know. I don't like Drake May. I think the Patriots could be a sneaky good team. I just don't feel it. And Penix was great last week. He was great, and I can 100% give you that. But I also don't know how I feel about it. 100%, I don't feel confident. I really don't like your quarterback room. I think it could has a high upside and a very scary situation. Christian McCaffrey, obviously a fantastic player, a scary pick, 100% a scary pick. If he flops, your team flops. It rides and dies kind of on Christian McCaffrey. I mean, there are other players here that have great potential, but you need those players to work out, and they might not. And Christian McCaffrey will be good if he's not injured, and if he doesn't get injured. I have him in another league. I'm hoping just as much as you are that he's good. And I think he will be good as long as he's not toast and as long as his legs don't turn into dust, which they very much could. He's so good. He's so good. Amarian Hampton, very good player, very good profile. I like him more than Genty this year, to be honest with you. I've been convinced because the situation is a lot better. Coach that really likes to run the ball, but I also know that his main goal, the coach, is to make Justin Herbert be a Hall of Fame quarterback. And you don't get that just by handing the ball off to a running back every time. And I think that this coach is going to change a bit of his philosophy, and we've already seen it a little bit last week, to be more of a passing offense. Not to say that they're not going to have great running back stuff, because I think they will. I think Amarian Hampton will be a decent running back. And I like him better than Genty this year, which is a crazy saying. Most people would not agree with me on that, but I still don't know how high I am on him. Travion Henderson, very explosive, profiles very similarly to Jahmyr Gibbs. He could be great. It's just kind of a bet on, do the Patriots do well? Then Travion Henderson will probably be good. We don't know how they're going to use Ramondre, which is just disgusting. They should not use him over Travion. Travion is the better back. He should get it. Isaiah Pacheco, by all means, should be decent, but he did not look good last week at all. It was not good. Bashal Tutin, it's going to be Travis Etienne. I don't think he's going to get any work. Tyler Warren, very exciting, did very well in week 1. And a rookie tight end is finished as the tight end 1 2 years in a row. Is this the third is the question. I don't think so, but just because he doesn't finish as the tight end 1 doesn't mean he can't be a great tight end for you. Drake London is a great pick. I really wanted him in the second round over Brian Thomas, and you took him. way earlier, so I wasn't going to get him anyway. He didn't do great in week 1, but I think he'll be better for sure. He had a little bit of an injury scare, but he seems to be doing well. I think he's going to play this week, as far as I'm aware. Harrison looked great in week 1. There are positive things going on. I'm a little scared with him, but still. And then here's where you get a little scary. Again, I ranked your team 4th. I like it a lot. So I'm not trying to disown it at all. I don't like wide receivers after the first 2. I think Keenan Allen is a very sneaky, really good player to have and roster and start even. I think he will be solid almost every week because it said that I think the wide receiver room could be mixed up every week. I think with him, it will be kind of mixed up, but I think he will almost always be the wide receiver 2. And I think Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey will swap between being like the wide receiver 1 for fantasy purposes only. Because I think Quentin Johnston has a little bit more of a touchdown upside where he might just catch a couple touchdowns in a week and maybe not be very reliable, but maybe explosive. And I think Keenan Allen is the PPR guy. Like I said, he's going to get targeted. He's going to get the ball. Justin Herbert is very comfortable with him. I like him. Beyond him, Hollywood Brown, I'm not confident in that. Cedric Tillman, I'm not confident in that. Kayshon Boutte, I'm definitely not confident in that. But I know why you did, because we both probably listened to the same podcast. He was ahead of Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas at LSU. He has that talent. But is the injury that he had that made him like a 6th-round pick going to make that not ever work out, or can he work out? Alec Iomana, I really don't believe that it's going to work out this year. If there's any argument against higher-end wide receiver prospects this year, then Alec Iomana it's just the same argument. He might be the wide receiver 2 for his team. I don't know how it's going to work. It's hard to say with this Titans offense. I don't know if it's a great thing to buy into. But again, everything I've said, great team. I like it a lot. It's very fun, and I think you will enjoy playing this year a lot based on who you drafted.
Yeah, that's well said. Honestly, my ranking partially comes just from knowing me as a manager. I look at the players right now, and I don't bear basically any emotional attachment to any of them. I will I will cut them and trade them with no mercy, because this is going to be my try-hard league this year. It's at the top of all my leagues. On the Sleeper app, it's the first one I see. It's the one I'm paying the most attention to. And I don't care. I don't care how good they are. Like, if you'll pay me right for a player, I'll give them to you. I will keep trading and moving up. All these bench players that you're kind of worried about, like, Alec Iomana, Michael Penix, Bashal Tutin, like, if they're not performing, they might be off my team next week. Who knows? But what I can tell you is that everyone on this team, except for just a couple players, are ceiling plays, and we're just buying scratchers and throwing them in the garbage when they don't work out until I get what I need to have a top contending roster. So we'll see. I feel pretty great about Tyler Warren already.
Oh yeah.
I know Drake May and Michael Penix or whoever other quarterbacks are out there haven't worked out yet, but like, I bet by week 6 I'll have my guy, even if it's none of those two. You're right about McCaffrey. Like I said, I'm watching every other 49er go down around him, and so I am thinking, awesome, he's going to get 40 points this week. Also, he's going to get... Someone's going to come out onto the field and annihilate his knee. It's going to be horrible. Oh, yeah. I feel fine. I think it's going to work out. I like my running back room a lot. My wide receiver room has tons of upside. Yeah. Yeah, put me 4th. Let's do it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Ready for number 1?
Number 1.
All right.
Oh.
Sam and Bill. You put Ian in 2nd, and I put him in 1st. Let's see what Ian has to say.
Oh, I love it.
This is Samwise Gamgee. He's a hobbit, the most heroic of hobbits. He doesn't care anything about fantasy football, but he's here regardless because his team manager wanted him to be here. He's a wonderful fender off of spiders, and he's just a wonderful, great guy. He carries his master around on his back. So he's just a really good guy. Bill, of course, there's Bill with all his hobbit friends. Bill's such a nice pony. There's another picture of Bill. Yep, with the hobbit friends. Another picture of Bill. There's Bill with Ted and George, his pony friends. There's some more pony friends, Ralph and George. And there they are. So, in this scenario, the team manager is very pleased to have Sam, also known as Josh Allen, and Bill, also known as Bijan Robinson, on his team.
So good.
Ian, you're my favorite. I get the privilege of starting with my number one ranked team. Oh, wonderful. All right. Now, here's the thing. Ian has vocally not been super happy with ranking shows at times because he frequently gets placed either at the top only to have a disappointing season or towards the bottom to validate some disappointing seasons. He's had some rough goes of it in the last few years in our other league. But despite any facade he might put on that it's just a game, he doesn't care that much. Ian wants to win. I can tell you Ian wants to win one. And I think this is the year where he has the pieces to do it if he manages his team well, which he is currently doing. So, Josh Allen, not every game's going to be against the Ravens. It's historic comeback, but he's, every year you kind of look for signs that Josh Allen is finally falling off, that his body can't take it anymore. I didn't see that in week 1, so I'm presuming he's going to be the same fearless, throw his body on the line, lead the team to wins, rushing quarterback we've always loved. And speaking of love, I like the backup in Jordan Love. That's not a bad person to have. The other 3 categories of positions, they all feel pretty stable to me. There could be a little more depth at running back now that Jerome Ford is no longer the starter in Cleveland. But Al-Jair got a lot of work splitting time with Bijan, so he's kind of got that handcuff locked up. Dobbins feels solid. Kyron and Bijan, high ceiling though. Kyron's going to be getting lots of touchdowns. Mark Andrews was worrying, but I like the Juwan Johnson pickup. I think Juwan will be the starter now, and it'll be a high floor play at tight end throughout the year. Jackson Smith and Jigba had the historically good week 1 opener with, 58% of the team's targets or something like that?
It's crazy.
Okay, we all missed that pick.
Yeah.
And I'm not crazy. There's not like a solid second player in the wide receiver room, but I see 5 high upside good shots to be the wide receiver 2. And if you can get a few of those to hit, the thing I like about this team ultimately is I have him ranked as having the highest upside of the entire league. His floor is sketchy. This team could definitely bottom out on certain weeks, but I don't think it's that risky. I think he has. That's the thing about the upside plays. Like years where I've played it safe, I haven't had such good luck. Last year, all my picks were upside in Bible Boys, and I had the super team because those picks worked out. You don't want to shoot for middle of the pack consistent. You want to shoot, I'm going first or last. And this team's looking like it's shooting for first. So if some things work out for Ian, if a few of these later round picks work out, his starting roster will be disgusting, and he's going to basically run away with the win this year.
Yeah, definitely. Very well said. I agree with a lot of what you said there. Josh Allen, great. It's like the top 3 quarterbacks for me. It's just a toss-up. Any of them could easily be quarterback 1 for me. Burrow, Allen, and Lamar. Even though Burrow didn't have that great of a week 1, I think he can be that. But Allen, man, he looked great in week 1. It's like you said, it's not always against the Ravens, but still, he's going to be great this year. He's going to be great for years to come, in my opinion. Jordan Love, I think he could also even finish within the top 5 quarterbacks. He's a great quarterback. I don't care that much about backup quarterback, but still, like, that's a great backup quarterback to have. He arguably could be started over a lot of the players that people are starting at quarterback, like your quarterback room. I'd take Jordan Love over Michael Penix and Drake May, personally. Running back, Bijan, smash pick at 4. Oh my word! I probably should have picked him. I like Jahmyr Gibbs this year. I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs, so I picked Jahmyr over Bijan. But he'll be great. He'll be great. He's going to finish within the top 5 running backs for sure. There is no chance that he doesn't unless he just breaks his ankles or something like that. But, like, seriously, he's just that player. He's going to get that. He might not be the running back 1. He might not have as high of a chance to do that as other running backs do, but he will be in the top 5. He will be that good. Kyron is great. I'm a Rams fan, 100% rooting for Kyron. J.K. Dobbins, great pick. He'll be great for the first half of the year at least, I think. I don't know about the second half of the year. We'll see. RJ Harvey might take a lot of that work, but it just depends. Jerome Ford? No. But, Joe Mixon could be great. He was actually really good last year before injury stuff and without injury stuff. This year, he's going to start the year very injured, and we don't know if he's even going to play a single time this year, but he was actually solid last year. The offensive line scares me a lot, even if he's not injured, so I don't know if he's ever going to be relevant, but again, not. I'd say the weakness of this team is probably the running back depth and not the wide receiver and the tight end room, probably. Those are the 2 weaknesses for me. Bijan and Kyron are great. It's kind of like the Laporta Potty team before. Great starting running backs for sure. Great. But the rest of it is a little scary. But I like it. I like it a lot. I did rank it second, so I really like it. Tight end. Mark Andrews, I'm higher on than a lot of people this year, but he didn't have any competition in Isaiah Likely. He wasn't there this week, and he didn't do good. And that was one of the biggest, highest scoring games. Couldn't he have at least done something? Is my question. Juwan Johnson looked good in week 1, but I don't know if that's sustainable. So the tight end room is going to be a little scary. Again, I ranked him second. I really like it. JSN, I've seen people compare him to Malik Neighbors and be like, who's going to be better? And it's funny when you do that because Malik Neighbors was very highly drafted and JSN was like 3rd, 4th round for a lot of people. JSN is going to be that good. That target share is absolutely insane. Last week is like his floor. He's going to be good. Tyreek Hill, terrifying. His team hates him. Tua doesn't look good. It's just a mess. It's not a good pick. I'm sorry. Tyreek Hill is just not a guy you want on your team. I don't know when you drafted him. Probably in like round 6. How people was it round 4 or what?
I have the draft pulled up. It's round 5.
Round 5. Okay, that's a pretty solid pick at round 5, probably. Just that I don't know.
I didn't want to throw you off the team list, but his first 4 picks, like really good values on all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Travis Hunter was his 6th pick, but he doesn't have to start him. And I really like not having to start Travis Hunter. He'll be probably pretty solid. I think he'll be good. It's kind of crazy that it says he's 100% started. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's interesting. He could be. He's very talented. He's the best wide receiver in the draft class. DJ Moore, a good player. I have him in the league. I don't feel very good about him, but he could be good. I think it's kind of the argument you said. The pick that I like the most, that I adore this pick, is Deebo Samuel. I think that he's been great this year already. He's going to continue being great. I think he has
that workload. Goodness.
Oh yeah, the workload is crazy. That's the argument against Terry. I still probably like Terry better than Deebo, but man, he's been a great wide receiver too for you so far already. I like Deebo. Deebo is great. Deebo is going to be great. I love him. I don't know. It's hard to say. Last year he was dropping a bunch of balls, but this year I think is his year to pick back up. Keon Coleman was great in week 1. I don't know if that's going to continue, but you have to see that he was great. He looked fantastic. I don't know if he's going to do that again because not every game is going to be a Ravens game. And I don't think he's going to be the definite wide receiver 1 for the Bills, but there is a chance there. And that's really what you're drafting for in round 13. You're not drafting for a guy that's going to be there for you every week in and week out. You're drafting for a guy that's going to give you that upside. That's what you should be trying to draft in that round. So it's a great team. That's the thing, is there's not much to say bad here. It looks good. The wide receivers there are like 5 very iffy guys, but the problem is that at least 1 or 2 of those has to work out really well, and Deebo Samuel already looks good. So it's a great team.
Well, we're both very high on Ian, which of course means he's going to have a bunch of injuries and come in last place this year.
Poor Ian.
Yep. All right, let's love you, buddy. Let's continue on to wrap up our show. We've gone over the 2-hour mark. Dark horse teams. So Robbie and I both have a team that we think will be placing a lot higher than other teams, or that could outperform expectations by a lot. Robbie, give me your pick first. I'm going to have to, I never got it from you, so I'll have to go back and find it.
I realize I didn't give this to you because I kind of forgot about it. Looking at it, I think my dark horse team is Nickelodeon.
I'm so glad you brought him up because that was my other candidate I didn't go with.
Yeah. Okay.
Nickelodeon.
So, Patrick Mahomes is probably one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. He could do it again. He could be good. He had a good week 1. Is it going to be that way every week? No. But Travis Kelce could be a great target. Rashee Rice comes back after like 6 weeks. Xavier Worthy could have a breakout season. Patrick Mahomes could be great. Bucky Irving could be great. A lot of people think he's great. I know John is very high on him and thinks he could be like a running back 5 this year. I don't really know if I believe that, but he could be that guy. Kenneth Walker, very talented, very, very talented. He could be that guy. Quinshon Judkins also could be that guy. Very highly drafted, would have gone way higher in any other draft where it wasn't so running back heavy. He's a very physical back, and he's their new Nick Chubb, and I think he could be that way. He very well could. There are a lot of other players that have character concerns that have been fantastic for fantasy, like Joe Mixon had one of the highest scoring fantasy games of all time. He's not a very he doesn't have good character. He could be like that. Najee Harris, you dropped him. I don't even know if I'd care regardless. Kyle Pitts always has had that potential. He's always been that athletic. He's been one of the highest drafted tight ends of all time. Again, he could do that. He could have that 101 value, like you said. CD, great pick, smash pick. I think he'll be great. Nico, I honestly, sometimes I feel like I should draft Nico over CD or over players like Jamar Chase because I don't know if Jamar is going to finish as the wide receiver 1 again. Nico could finish as the wide receiver 1. He has that upside, kind of like Puka. I think Nico is there. I think he could be that way. I feel like he almost has the talent for sure. And CJ Stroud is a good enough quarterback that he could support him that way. We'll just see if it works that way. T. Higgins, very talented, very good as a wide receiver 2. He in a lot of people's rankings, he's a wide receiver 1. And that means if it works out that way, if it breaks right, which is the point of a dark horse team, then you have 4 to 5 wide receiver 1s. That is insane. That shouldn't happen. It probably won't, but this team is crazy. Like, it could be insane. It could be one of the greatest. I mean, John is that manager. He's a great manager. He could be that guy. He could really be that guy. One thing that I'll say is if you want that dark horse chance, then you might want to be a little bit less heavy on the rookie wide receivers that you like, because Jaden Higgins is talented, Luther Burden is talented, Trey Harris is talented, but their situations just do not look like they can do things this year. I like them as players. They profile well. Trey Harris is the wide receiver 4. Luther Burden is the wide receiver 3. Jaden Higgins, is he going to be the wide receiver 2? I mean, it just depends. Yeah, probably. So maybe he could. I wouldn't drop Jaden Higgins. I think he'll be decent. Just depends. It just depends. That's the thing. He could be so good. This team could be incredible. You just need to put a little bit more investment into running back, and then I think I'd be a little higher on it, honestly.
I really like the take. I think there's a lot of upside here. Like we said, there was so much banking on, I said Patrick Mahomes and Kyle Pitts, but week 1, they're both trending up. So if that keeps going, you know what their ceilings are. Mahomes has always had quarterback 1 potential, and Kyle Pitts has always had, 1 tight end potential, but I'd say right now it's more like top 5. So if those pan out, then he's disgustingly good in all the other areas. And John is a fantastic manager. Made an amazing comeback championship run last year. Yeah. So he could do it. I'm gonna go to my dark horse pick. Let's see. We're gonna run into Gimli's Giblets is going to be my dark horse pick. Especially now with the Dak Prescott. This team just has the explosiveness all across the board. You do have the backup running backs who could immediately burst into relevance. Njoku could come back, or Hawkinson, I think maybe could be a stable floor play. McLaurin and Pickens and Mims have always been the boom bust types of players. So really, I just think he needs to catch fire in the second half of the year, and he could come thundering into playoffs with a scary team with a good playoff schedule. I could see that happening.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
All right. That's it. Robbie, what else do you got to say to the people before we wrap up?
Good luck. My team is going to beat all of your teams. I have the platform to say this. It's going to be the best. This is going to be so fun. I'm so looking forward to this. I want to be super, super active on this league. I want to put a lot into this. So I'm just excited. I just hope everybody can be excited as I am and as Luke is for this league, because it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Just put all your effort into this. I've been looking forward to even just doing this podcast. Oh, it's so fun. All of it's so fun. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, man, I couldn't have said any better myself. I'm having a lot of fun. Putting this together was fun. We're planning to, I'm looking long term. I'm looking at this being a really fun league for a long time. So, think about your commitment level, everyone. No, just know, I hope this podcast and this league can go on for a while, and we can see the championships build up and the storylines and the history of the league, looking back at the records and the best trades and at the end of the day, I really like what the footballers said on their website. Like, what makes a league fun and life-giving is the people and how much we talk and we trade and we have camaraderie and smack talk. At the end of the day, we're all living our lives outside. This is just a game, but I hope that this can make all of us enjoy life more.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Good luck, everyone. I'll be coming after some of you for trades now that I know some of your opinions on these things. Or feel free to come after me with trades.